Hey, stuffers. If you've ever felt like your job interview was too easy, this one is for the paranoid geniuses. Alex here, and welcome back to Stuff with Alex. Forget everything you thought you knew about Cicada 3301 being an old, dusty internet mystery solved back in 2014. It's not. This cryptic, complex organization, or whatever you want to call it, is currently generating more drama than a high school reunion that meets a private equity firm. The story of the internet's most brilliant puzzle, the one demanding mastery of cryptography and ancient poetry, is now locked in a bizarre multi-million-dollar lawsuit against an academic right here in the good old US of A. The plaintiff in this surreal legal battle is none other than Thomas Schoenberger, a 64-year-old composer and notorious online provocateur who has been identified as a chief architect and leader of the Cicada 3301 puzzles. He is suing a professor at Michigan State University, MSU, Laura Dilley, claiming her 2021 research paper completely wrecked his life and career. Why? Because Professor Dilley's paper, which focused on computational metrics to analyze QAnon narratives, characterized Schoenberger as a QAnon insider. The research cited data showing his Twitter accounts were wildly popular in QAnon circles and asserted that he may have even groomed Cicada 3301 participants into posting as Q. Schoenberger, who claims to be an entirely apolitical genius with a flair for eccentric puzzles, denies any involvement with that specific extremist conspiracy. He argues that Dilley's academic claims ruined his lucrative business opportunities he had lined up. We're talking game show deals, a book deal, and even a TV show based on his puzzle skills. He's framing his lawsuit as a crusade to correct the record against what he calls a crooked academic attack, pulling Michigan State University into the feud. This sets the stage for our deep dive. Did the internet's ultimate intellectual challenge secretly serve as a pipeline for political extremism? The question isn't just how smart 3301 is, but what exactly they were recruiting these smart people for. The legend began, as all great American tragedies and great internet mysteries must, on 4chan. Specifically, on January 4, 2012. A simple white-on-black image appeared on the notorious message board with a cryptic message, "Hello, we are looking for highly intelligent individuals. To find them, we have devised a test." This was the signal. It was signed 3301. The stated purpose was clear: recruitment. The organization behind the puzzles, dubbed Cicada 3301, was seeking intelligent individuals by presenting a series of formidable tests. From the jump, the challenges focused on a very specific skill set: data security, cryptography, steganography, the art of hiding data within other media, and internet anonymity. The initial phase was a masterclass in efficiency. The first step required decoding the hidden message within the 4chan image itself, which was accomplished using steganography software, revealing a Caesar cipher clue. This led to a website, which in turn contained the infamous image of the cicada duck. This process, repeated with increasing difficulty, established an annual ritual. New rounds of the puzzle began with striking consistency, starting precisely on January 4 in 2012, 2013, and 2014.
The decision to launch this global, high-stakes recruitment drive on 4chan was a stroke of genius, not an accident. Traditional agencies like the NSA or CIA must navigate mountains of bureaucracy for talent acquisition. By using a public, viral forum, Cicada 3301 minimized traditional recruitment costs while guaranteeing rapid engagement from a self-selecting user base. This demographic was already technically proficient, often operating in the Internet's gray areas, maximizing the return on effort in a way a university career fair never could. Furthermore, the thematic focus from the very first post, security, anonymity, and the desire to end tyranny, served as an intrinsic philosophical pre-filter. The puzzles tested not only technical skill, but alignment with the group's core anti-establishment ethos. This early ideological screen was as important as the code-breaking itself. As participants successfully navigated the early phases, the technical demands escalated sharply. The clues rapidly moved beyond basic encryption techniques like the Caesar and Visionaire ciphers. Solvers were forced to become proficient in deep-level steganography, extracting hidden messages from images using programs like Outguess, and even finding encoded information within audio files, such as a mysterious Bach MP3. The intellectual barrier wasn't just technical, it was obscurely cultural. Clues demanded cross-disciplinary expertise, referencing everything from medieval Welsh manuscripts to quotes from William Gibson's science fiction, eventually requiring an understanding of transcendentalist philosophy. In the 2014 challenge, the group introduced one of its most complex puzzles, the book cipher. A poem was provided, the work of a private man who wished to transcend. He trusted himself to produce from within, followed by a series of coordinates, paragraph, sentence, word, and letter. The poem was the master key, guiding the community to the text used for the cipher, Ralph Waldo Emerson's essay, Self-Reliance. The deliberate selection of self-reliance confirms that Cicada 3301 prioritized ideological alignment over mere hacking prowess. Emerson's text champions radical individualism, personal truth, and a healthy distrust of institutions. The technical skill was merely the entry ticket. The philosophical compatibility was the key to unlocking the true organization. This requirement suggests the recruits were destined for highly sensitive ideological or data defense operations, justifying the rumors of a secret society focused on data privacy and autonomy. An additional layer of operational security was revealed through the organization's consistent use of PGP, or Pretty Good Privacy signatures, on all legitimate communications. This was more than just a security measure. It was a fundamental lesson in operational principles. By requiring applicants to use and trust PGP verification, Cicada 3301 normalized secure, verifiable communication and data anonymity in a trustless internet environment. Stuffers, smash that like button if you're already confused by how many degrees you need to solve this thing.
Cicada 3301 quickly distinguished itself from typical online games by incorporating demanding physical components. Solved digital clues often pointed to real-world locations, requiring candidates to perform synchronized field operations across international borders in cities across the USA, Europe, and Australia. This physical commitment demanded extraordinary logistical coordination and resource allocation, immediately fueling the theories that the group must be a state actor, like the CIA or MI6, or at least a highly funded cyber mercenary organization.
Furthermore, successful completion of these physical challenges consistently led participants back to the deepest corners of the web, with clues providing Tor URLs indicated by the .onion structure, confirming the group's mandate for deep web anonymity and secure communication. This stage of the puzzle served a critical vetting function, moving beyond intellectual capacity to test real-world operational readiness. The requirement for candidates to organize, communicate securely, and trust anonymous collaborators in high-stakes field operations proved their competence in OPSEC, or operational security. This process filtered out the armchair cryptographers and identified individuals capable of executing coordinated tasks under pressure, skills essential for any secretive organization operating across international boundaries. The international placement of synchronized clues suggests a centralized command structure overseeing a decentralized execution network. This model, where agents across the globe act autonomously but in coordination, is characteristic of advanced intelligence or specialized hacking collectives. The group was not just testing cryptography. It was testing whether candidates could become reliable operational field operatives. A small, dedicated group of individuals managed to complete the 2012 and 2013 rounds. Among the known successful solvers are cybersecurity expert Joel Erickson and Nox Populi, a 2013 winner who later documented her step-by-step experience to provide an impartial, fact-based view of the organization. The reward for completing the monumental task was not fame or fortune, but access. Successful participants were invited to a private forum or group where the focus shifted dramatically. The outcome was often vague, described generally as recruitment to a software team that was heavily security-minded. Statements from those who passed confirm that the organization's true vetting process began after the puzzles ended. The final phase was less about ciphers and more about philosophical discussion, confirming that members were drawn together by common beliefs concerning anti-tyranny, data privacy, and personal rights. The lack of public information about what the winners actually do post-recruitment is a powerful tool for the organization. The secrecy surrounding the internal workings of 3301 elevates the perceived status of the winners and, critically, prevents the organization's internal processes and mandates from ever being publicly compromised. This absence of a public prize confirms that Cicada 3301 functions as a secretive, belief-driven collective, using the puzzle simply as a robust gateway to a larger, persistent ideological organization. Had it been a traditional intelligence agency, the post-puzzle phase would involve copious amounts of paperwork and security clearances. The emphasis on shared ideology confirms an initiation process closer to a secret society. The identity of Cicada 3301 remains the ultimate unsolved riddle, prompting relentless speculation. The most prominent theories fall into three categories: state actors, agencies such as the NSA, CIA, or MI6, supported by the focus on cryptography, counterintelligence concepts, and the massive synchronized global reach of the physical clues. Ideological secret society, a collective dedicated to improving cryptography, privacy, and anonymity, driven by manifestos and shared beliefs opposing oppression and censorship. Cult or religion, based on the use of esoteric runes, poetry, and the demand for philosophical unity that transcends purely technical application. In 2015, the ethical boundaries of the group were tested. After a different organization, using the name 3301, hacked Planned Parenthood's database, the real Cicada 3301 broke its silence to manage its reputation. They issued a PGP-signed statement denying any affiliation, asserting they did not condone their use of our name, number, or symbolism, and ultimately distancing themselves from illegal activity. This PGP-signed denial is a critical piece of operational evidence. It demonstrates that maintaining an ethical, non-criminal reputation is paramount to the organization, suggesting that while they operate in secrecy, they adhere to a defined moral code. This action reinforces the theory of an ideological collective rather than an amoral hacking group. The group's late-stage message included the Latin phrase nullus in verba, which translates roughly to "take nobody's word for it" or "trust no one." Even the name itself, Cicada 3301, is intellectually symbolic. It references the prime-numbered life cycles of cicadas, organisms that appear mysteriously, create a massive buzz, the puzzle, and then vanish for long periods of time. This perfectly mirrors the organization's operational cadence, appearing annually on January 4th, completing a recruitment cycle, and then retreating into dormancy until the next planned emergence.
The pinnacle of the Cicada 3301 challenge, and the reason for the group's extended dormancy, is the infamous Liber Primus, the primary book. This was the result of the 2014 puzzle and represented an abrupt and monumental increase in difficulty. The Liber Primus is a digital book containing 58 pages written in intricate runes. Unlike previous challenges, which were solvable in a matter of weeks, the Liber Primus has proven to be mathematically intractable. After years of collective, dedicated effort from the world's top code breakers, only 2 of the 58 pages have ever been successfully decoded. This extreme difficulty level confirms a crucial shift in 3301's strategy. The public recruitment phase was over. The Liber Primus was designed as an intellectual fortress, resisting solutions from outsiders and effectively serving as a moat to protect the internal workings of the society. The failure to crack the book led some solvers to conclude that it was never intended to be a solvable puzzle at all, but rather a foundational, ritualistic text, a permanent manifesto for the recruited members. The transition from using common literary texts like Self-Reliance and well-known ciphers to employing proprietary runes and custom language created an insider-only dialect, ensuring that the 56 remaining pages contain knowledge reserved exclusively for members who have already demonstrated loyalty and skill. Further analysis suggests the design philosophy of the later puzzles was to promote collaboration. Solvers noted that these challenges were specifically structured to require cooperation, implying that the journey to the final secrets couldn't be walked alone. This reveals a complex organizational philosophy. Radical, individualistic thought is required to pass the initial filters, but coordinated collectivism, or teamwork, is the essential quality for accessing the organization's deepest knowledge and becoming a productive member.
Cicada 3301's history might be rooted in 2012, but the consequences are unfolding right now. The most significant modern update centers on the legal drama involving Thomas Schoenberger, the alleged chief architect. Schoenberger filed his lawsuit in Michigan's Court of Claims against MSU professor Laura Dilley and her co-defendant. The core of his complaint stems from Dilley's academic paper linking the high popularity of his online accounts and, by extension, Cicada 3301, to organized QAnon narratives. Schoenberger claims that Dilley's characterization of him as a QAnon insider who potentially groomed 3301 participants has resulted in career-crippling defamation. This long-standing internet feud, now dragged into state court, proves that the legacy of a seemingly anonymous internet mystery can generate massive real-world legal and reputational damage for those publicly associated with its creation. This whole mess, while serious, underscores a crucial point about deep internet analysis. Sometimes the data reveals correlations that are statistically valid but entirely nonsensical. As a final absurd commentary on the quest for hidden meaning, researchers attempting to understand the mystery's cultural impact published a paper that found a correlation coefficient of 0.90430099 between the popularity of the Cicada 3301 meme and the consumption of petroleum in New Caledonia. This statistically robust, yet logically absurd finding serves as a meta-satirical warning. Even powerful analytic methods, like those Professor Dilley used, can find compelling connections that ultimately signify nothing, reminding us of the human tendency toward confirmation bias in the search for hidden patterns. Drop your wildest theory in the comments. Is Schoenberger a misunderstood genius, or did the internet's greatest puzzle lead straight to the worst conspiracy of our time?
Cicada 3301 remains the apex predator of internet mysteries. It functions as a powerful, sustained proof of concept for anonymous, decentralized organization and a definitive test of human intellectual limits. The enduring mystery isn't necessarily who they are, whether spies, philosophers, or code junkies, but rather what they intend to do with the highly specialized, philosophically aligned cohort they successfully gathered between 2012 and 2014. The ultimate value of the Cicada journey is found not in cracking the final code, but in the relentless, almost obsessive dedication demonstrated by the community trying to find it. They searched for hidden messages and obscure truths as if they were seeking something precious, something more valuable than silver or gold. This constant quest for deep truth and wisdom, whether hidden in steganography or found in plain sight, is a persistent and rewarding human drive. It's not just about the difficulty of the puzzle, it's about the spirit of the search itself. As a final thought, it reminds me of a verse in the Bible that speaks to the true reward of knowledge. It's not just about cracking the code, it's about the treasure of wisdom itself. Colossians chapter 2, verse 3. In whom are hidden all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. Okay, thanks for watching. Peace out. Goodbye, guys.